because we tend to often swing to extremes. It's either just be positive, just be grateful, everything will shift, or this is trauma, this is too deep, nothing's going to change unless you go all the way into it, right? And sometimes, a lot of times, we need to work on closing that gap. And I see this everywhere, and I feel like following pattern recognition, let's say, I believe that there's magic in the messy middle.
Hey beautiful, welcome to Naturally Empowered Living, your safe space to guiding you on your unapologetic self-awakening journey. This is your weekly sanctuary for waking up from autopilot and transforming the way you approach life through the power of meditation, energetics, and root cause therapy. It is my mission to help you heal unprocessed emotions and release stuck energies by alchemizing your struggle cycles into opportunities for deep self-love, awareness, trust, and connection, to return to your innate essence of being, stepping back into your energy of alignment. Because here, we honor all parts of ourselves, the messy and the magic, the shadows and the light, embodying all parts that make you, you. So if you are ready to get to the root of cultivating real change, get cozy, grab your journal and maybe favorite crystals, and let's discover our power within together.
What is up? Welcome back to another episode of the Naturally Empowered Living podcast. This is your host, guide, and mentor in all things energetics, emotions, and self-awakening, Jenna Smith. And apologies in advance, I'm using a different microphone today. So if the audio is a little spotty, that is why. I don't have my normal hunky clunky microphone. I have a little portable one, but so thankful to be here. And ironically, that's what we're talking about today. So, of course, on our road trip. So, okay, backtrack. My husband and I went away for close to a week. It did not seem like it. Oh my gosh. But my husband and I went on a little solo road trip together, and it was absolutely wonderful. We went out in the mountains and just hiked and shed hunted and just were like off grid. It was absolutely amazing. But of course, when we were driving and when I was driving, I was listening to some sort of business development. Always, right? It was playing through the speakers whenever I had the chance, whenever we weren't listening to music. And that's just me. Like, I'm obsessed with this work. I'm obsessed with learning. I am obsessed with life and how humans work and why we do what we do and how we, why we are that the way that we are and why different people think in different ways and all the things. Like, I'm just so fascinated with the psychology, with the development, with the being of human beings. So, yes, I was working-ish, but like that was my book choice, right? My book choice isn't the fancy romance, smutty novels. It's learning. I don't know, whatever. Okay, so I was listening to a module inside the Immersion Path by Discover Healing. So this is just a course that I was getting certified in, and it warrants a podcast episode about it. Something so simple. We're going to talk about gratitude today. We're going to talk about the art of gratitude in our minds, and not just that surface level mindset. Have a positive mindset, have a grateful mind. No, like, we're getting underneath that. Like, we should know by this time, if we are listening to this show, that we get underneath the surface level of anything, right? And I'm sure at one point or another, like, we all go through this phase of like, oh, just be grateful, or be grateful even through the hard times, all the things, right? What I want to talk about today, because if you've felt, like, oh, just be grateful, and you either feel bad about yourself, you feel guilty because you're not feeling grateful, or you're like, that's just a load of crap. Maybe it doesn't land for you, like just be grateful type thing. I want to talk about what gratitude actually does within ourselves, like through the lens of the nervous system, through the lens of root cause therapy, through the lens of how our makeup as a human works. Because listening to this video in the Immersion Path, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I get it. Like, it makes sense. Like, one of those things that you think that you hear for the first time, but you felt like once you hear it, like, you've known this forever. Like, I have all these connections all the time of like a certain way something is described, or a certain way. There's just so many things, like something that you've known for a lifetime, right? And this is one of those concepts for me. Our minds are constantly shaping our experience of reality. And I added something in there because you've probably heard your mind is shaping your reality. Your mind is shaping your experience of reality. Because if we really want to get woo woo and out there, like, what is time? Is this even a real experience? Like, we're on this floating rock. Like, there's so many different ideas out there, right? Like, we're not going to go there. But I'm bringing this to the grounding piece of humanity, like of being a human. But then we are also different, right? So your mind is shaping your experience of your reality. Not reality itself, because what is reality itself? It's different to every single one of us. How you experience your reality. So then in root cause therapy, like from this lens, we could take it a step further, because your experience doesn't just come from your thoughts and your mind. It's coming from your emotional state, your nervous system, right? Those imprints, your subconscious drivers. Like, for example, two people can be going through the exact same situation, right? To kind of paint this picture, two people can have the same situations happening and walk away in completely different meanings, completely different emotions, completely different reactions and perspectives to the same thing that just happened, right? It doesn't make one right and one wrong. It's just a completely different filter, right? They're filtering their lives through completely different internal states. Maybe one came in with a different nervous system state than the other one came in. Maybe one has had that support, or what. There's so many different variables. And this is what gets really important, because emotions aren't just something that we feel. They are also the drivers of our perception, of our thoughts, of our behaviors moving forward. If you were with me, oh my gosh, I just had this thought pop into my head. If you were with me from the very beginning of this show, we talked a lot about the mindset loop. Okay. I haven't dropped this a lot lately on the show, just because, of course, as I grow and as I evolved, my processes evolve too. And again, that's another part of being human, right? With circumstances changing, we are allowed to change with the circumstances. And this evolution, I feel like a lot of my work, it's evolved, but it's still to the core the same. So going back to the very first episodes, this podcast was called the Balanced Mom Method podcast. And we talked a lot about the mindset loop, meaning your thoughts drive your behavior. No, your thoughts drive your actions, which drives your behaviors, which drives your experiences, I think it is. And it's like a wheel, and same type of concept, right? What you're feeling in this moment is going to be driving your future perceptions, your future thoughts, your future behaviors, because they compound on each other. And we always, like, little pause here, blip in time and me talking, we always have the choice to change that too. Insert neuroplasticity. So if someone has any sort of unresolved fears or rejections or not enoughness, sitting in their system, that is becoming the lens for future projection of said reality. That becomes the default. So that's how sometimes we can think or know something logically, but still feel stuck in a different situation. Like our mind body connection, it's not connected. Our mind body connection isn't, there's a gap there. So now let's bring up the talk of gratitude. Like, we're not just talking about writing a list of things that you should be grateful for. We're talking about shifting the emotional state that your body is operating from. Like, those are two very different things. Obviously, two very different things. It doesn't make one better than the other, or one right or one wrong, but they're just two very different things, because when we access genuine gratitude, we're introducing our nervous system to something different, something open, something resourced. And I think that this is where a lot of people may get stuck, because we tend to often swing to extremes. It's either just be positive, just be grateful, everything will shift, or this is trauma, this is too deep, nothing's going to change unless you go all the way into it, right? And sometimes, a lot of times, we need to work on closing that gap. and I see this everywhere, and I feel like following pattern recognition, let's say, I believe that there's magic in the messy middle. Okay. Think of like the conversation or the controversy around everyone should get a trophy versus only the winner should get a trophy. On one side, there's truth because obviously, like acknowledging effort, it matters. You put in the work that you put in matters, especially when you don't have control of an outcome, right? So it's acknowledging that. But on the other side, results do come from aligned action, from showing up, from doing the work over and over again, really acknowledging that practice, that time. But both can be true, but both can also be taken to completely outrageous extremes as well. So that's how I see that magic is in the messy middle. And this is exactly how I see gratitude and deeper healing work too. Tying this all back together, what I said before, just writing down what you're grateful for on a piece of paper on one end of the spectrum versus the other end of the spectrum is this deep trauma work that you have to get fully consumed by and forget that you're actually just living your life too. Like there's something really interesting also in this messy middle, let's call it. I'll just keep rolling with that word. Our brain, kind of tying this all full picture now, our brain responds to what we deeply feel in a similar way to what we're actually experiencing. So when I talk about in root cause therapy, when we have these triggers or when our present life is responding from past experiences, it's because we're triggered and feeling a said feeling that we felt in the past and that hasn't been processed. So it's coming out in our present moment. Same thing, same concept here is when we start to feel this gratitude for something, when we actually start to embody this feeling of gratitude, or even connecting to what it would feel like to already having what we potentially or possibly want or want to be grateful for. Our system begins to orient differently. Okay, I could go on a completely different segue. Maybe we can do this next week about like manifestation and cognitive dissonance and like alchemy and all of that. Like, not just the visualization piece. Maybe this will be another episode. Like, the visualization is that surface level, but then like that manifestation, the cognitive dissonance is that deeper level. Ooh, I love that. Okay, put that, pause that. Coming back to gratitude here. So, when we truly start to feel this feeling of gratitude for something or connecting to what it would feel like, if in the present moment we're not feeling that gratitude, instead of reverting to the past experiences, we could fast forward to the future experience of what it would feel like if we already were feeling that gratitude. We could kind of like trick our brain and our body also, just like how we are tricked by what we're experiencing in the present moment. We're being tricked, by triggered by something that happened in the past. We could do the same thing for the future. I hope this is all landing. I know I'm like completely all over the place. This is just, it's such a beautiful, beautiful concept. And that pattern recognition, I had to bring it this week. So once we really embody that gratitude or forward thinking into that gratitude, you might start noticing like things starting to feel less overwhelming, or you're more open to opportunities, or you're taking different actions without forcing them, right? You're starting to notice these tiny little shifts. And I know I said like you've quote unquote tricked your brain, but you're literally like your internal state is shifting also because of that little trick that you did. And this also matters too. Like gratitude, I don't want to confuse this. Gratitude does not heal unresolved trauma. Okay. It doesn't override suppressed or repressed emotions. And this is also too like where we get to that end of the spectrum where if I just write this gratitude list, everything else is going to go away and I'm going to heal everything. If your system is still holding on to unprocessed experiences, your body is going to default to those patterns. However, when you come from a lens of gratitude, you are allowing yourself to open your natural pathways to now be open to get to the healing point of those unprocessed experiences. So just like in Reiki, like I am not fixing you. I am not healing you. Or in root cause therapy, I am not the one healing you. I'm giving you this safe space. I'm offering a container for your nervous system to feel safe and open, to align to your own and tap into your own innate healing capabilities. So in root cause therapy, that is how we then get to the root of those imprints, of those unprocessed experiences. We actually clear and process and transmute what's been stored. And then practices like gratitude, following too, once we kind of embody this practice, this ritual of being a grateful being, things, see, I'm already segueing into like the visualization and that cognitive dissonance piece. We're going to do this next week. So to be continued on this. But to close out this week's episode, I really want to give you something simple to try. Okay. Nothing big, no big fancy journaling, nothing overwhelming. Just check in with yourself right now, right here, right now, whatever you're doing. How are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? Not feeling bad or down on yourself if you feel like a 1, just noticing. Okay. And ask yourself, what would feel supportive or safe or good in my life right now? Being completely honest. It could be something so small or even neutral. If you can't forward think, it could be something neutral, just one thing. Just feel into it. Don't think too much. Maybe you could tap into a space on your body, maybe your heart, and just ask yourself, what does this feel like in my body? Once you chose that one thing that felt supportive, safe, or good in your life, what does that feel like in my body right now? Is it warm, calm, maybe tingly, hot? Maybe on an exhale, you feel like a little bit of relief. Whatever it is, just sit there for a moment. And now check back in with that number. Once you anchored yourself to that safe, supportive, what feels good right now feeling, check back into your number. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you doing? And like trust that first number that comes to you, okay? Because you're building that awareness of your current state in the moment to moment to moment. And none is good, right or wrong or indifferent, but you're introducing a new emotional experience because you're allowing your nervous system to be in the waves also, right? Like you can be a grateful person, but still have a low day. And that's what creates flexibility and capacity and space for you to now see and meet with these old patterns that you're ready to release. So coming back now, like one of the main reasons I wanted to record an episode on that specific module in that course, because it really landed to me like it's so much bigger than just writing a gratitude list, right? We are constantly living from a state that has been shaped by our own minds, by our own perceptions, by our own lens of how we see through things. Are we going to be grateful and have hope and think of what's the best case scenario? What's the best thing that could happen? Or, you could think like, I'm the worst. This is the worst. Nothing good is going to come out. Like there's just two completely different perspectives here. And it takes time, and we can begin to shift them by allowing ourselves to get beneath them. So if you're listening to this and thinking like, if you're here, like I want to actually practice this, not just hear it, that is why I created the My Energy of Alignment journal and planner. It's a 3-month space where you can actually start living and embodying this work, these daily rituals, this nervous system support, these somatic check-ins. Okay, you'll begin to bridge that mind-body connection, and you'll see it start to show up in your life. You can find that journal on Amazon or in person at Rooted Collective 201. I'll link it in the show notes for Amazon. And if you're someone who's feeling like, gosh, I've done this mindset work, like I'm so self-aware, like I'm just so stuck in the how do I heal? How? Like this is where the deeper work, like root cause therapy comes in. I just had a clarity call with someone right before I recorded this episode. And it was, of course, we all have different experiences. We all come from different walks of life, but there are so many, again, the pattern recognition of the same types of people continue to come to me. Like, I've done XYZ. I am so self-aware. I am aware, like I'm aware of my patterns of, but like I'm aware of what I want to change. I'm aware of, what I want, but I just feel so stuck. That is where root cause therapy comes in. So if you are curious to learn more about what this somatic healing modality is, subconscious healing modality, check the link in the show notes or go to naturallyempoweredliving.com/root-cause-therapy. And you can learn more about that and potentially have a clarity consult call with me as well. I'm sending you so much love. And until next week, as always, simply be you. You have everything inside of you to learn your energy of alignment and be unapologetic in who you are. Sending my love and so much light.
Did you find this episode free or empowering? Please read my review. Tickle, boop.
Thank you for spending the sacred time with me on Naturally Empowered Living. If this episode brought you closer to stepping into your energy of alignment, I'd love for you to leave a written review and share how this show has supported your journey. Your feedback truly lights me up and helps others find the space of transformation. And sharing it with someone who might need it spreads the ripple of healing even further. Be sure to check the show notes for ways to connect with me and explore personalized healing sessions and mentorships to deepen your self-awakening journey. Thank you. I appreciate all you are and all you do.